Happy Saturday, everybody. It's February 10th, about 9:30 a.m. my time. Quick update on the market. So one thing that we've kind of spoken about is a few days back when I was looking at this particular move right here, I initially had thought that we would break up here and then start breaking back down, just because I thought this area was a strong, pocket of resistance. And if we would bang up into this area, I thought we would get rejected by back down. And this was not a purely sort of technical play. It was more so the fact that I had talked about in markets how I kind of believe that things are a little bit more extended. I think assets and asset prices like WEN and Jupe and all the airdrops that we've had and the positive sentiment that we've had, and then the slow negative sentiment that's creeping up, which is related to the Fed possibly, not cutting rates, the market being elevated, and not only in crypto, but in the U.S. stock market front, right? I think things are extremely extended. I think all those factors plus the sentiment being extremely high, I've kind of gotten to the point where I thought, okay, maybe we do need a pullback, and maybe as we had come up into this area, oops, let me go back to that. Maybe as we had come up into this area, I thought we would have, banged into it and then sold off further, right? But we obviously did do that, and clearly it looks like BTC is, much stronger than I anticipated. And so, just to sort of iron this out, within my Discord and even my Twitter feed, I kind of admitted that, hey, listen, my entry was for my short was 44,250. I got out at 45,250. Obviously, price blew out much further outward than that. But I didn't stay in that short position much longer, right? You can kind of see that I got stopped out of that position right there at a 2.25% loss. And then after that, I think something good happened, which was I kind of just said, well, I'm not going to stick with my short bias all that long, simply because, I didn't want to just say that, oh, from here and here, once it stops me out, then it's going to go back down, right? That's, I think, probably the worst bias that one can have. And so what I did was I kind of recognized that, okay, clearly the momentum is strong. We've reclaimed this first trend line right here, and it looks like we're going to shoot up to this next trend line and possibly, take out all this resistance right here, all the way up to 49K. And so I just flipped bias, and I just quickly kind of told myself that, all right, well, we're going to just simply pay attention to the long side. And basically, I got into my long trade right after, literally right after, and I kind of just said that it looks like we're probably going to, push higher. And my general thought was I'm going to just take this long trade, into 49.50K, right? Now, I'm actually sort of traveling and trying to do my best to stay away from markets. Obviously, that's very hard to do. Crypto is 24/7, and sometimes it's very exciting. And you want to, trade and do as much as you can. But right now, my general thesis is um, I got out of my profit, got out of my trade in profit, which was this BTC long trade. So again, recap, BTC short, I was wrong. Then I flipped long, I was right. Okay, that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, as I'm right in this trade, I closed out in profit. However, I still gotta say I'm still not fully convinced. And this may be bear bias, right? Like I'm still not fully convinced that before the halving, which I think is sometime in April or May, that we're not going to do something like this. This is from Fiboswamy. You could kind of follow him on Twitter, and he talks about prior to halving, right? You generally have a dip into the halving. Okay, you can kind of see back here. This is a dip into the halving, right? And then post halving, you have then the monster rise, right? So I'm kind of thinking like, whether it's a few weeks or maybe a few months, you may get some very sharp selling into the halving, and maybe we already had it, right? Maybe this was it, and that's all we get. That's entirely possible. But I myself am a little bit more cautious, just because I do think the market is extended. I do think that one needs to be a little bit more careful, just constantly being bulled up, especially in an environment where almost everybody has effectively made money or is on the long side of the trade. And when everybody's on the long side of the trade, and you have something like this going on where historically at the 618 fib, right, you could kind of see that here in the 2017 through the 2019 era. BTC came, put in this high, put in this low, and then the retracement back to the 618, then it led to several months of bleeding before another big up move, right? Now, again, I'm not trying to say that we have to do something like this for, 6 to 10 months, but it's possible that as we're coming into the 618 fib, which happens to be around 48,000 or so, right? Um, it is entirely possible that we've already banged into that, fib marker, and maybe we do have a pullback, maybe for a month or two prior to the halving. And then, maybe we do something like this, where the path kind of is like that, like that, like that. And then, start rocketing higher, right? Like that. Okay. So that's my general thought process on BTC. And I think same kind of goes for Solana. I do think Solana is also extended, but again, I'm not here to just say that, oh, well, it's definitely extended and it definitely has to go down. Obviously, I could be entirely wrong. My general thoughts were for February and March, I expected Solana to come into like, I don't know, like the 45 to like $60 zone right here. Obviously it hasn't done that. We're already almost close to mid-February. It could, but I'm not going to hold my breath, right? Um, there's other aspects of Solana that I still do like, because I think there's still a lot happening. I've talked about Whales market before. Whales market is kind of this newer style, OTC style trading that's going on, where you can, let me see here. Let me kind of show you guys exactly what they have, right? So they have pre-markets, OTC markets, points markets, and effectively these are OTC markets, that you could buy and sell from other people, kind of like a peer-to-peer trading without impacting, the order books. Or you could buy pre-market tokens that are about to launch, or points markets like Camino Finance or Marinator, all these different points markets that are creating point systems where you can buy those points, and if those points are redeemable for money or soul later down the line, you have effectively accumulated a bunch of points that you can then sell on the market, right? Or exchange for Solana or USDC or whatever. Okay. So I think this is a very important market that I think is going to do really well in the future. Currently trading on Solana here. Very good valuation, in my opinion. 2.1 million liquidity locked, 48.7 million market cap, and a 300 million FTV, right? Fully diluted value. So that's, I think, pretty solid. The other two assets I've kind of been watching since, the last 24 hours has been this new, I don't know, this new sort of standard, if you will, right? It's the SPL 22, which is basically SPL 22 is kind of like, you know, um, both the fungible and the non-fungible tokens are going to effectively converge into one contract. So imagine, your NFTs and a token associated with the NFT all trading in the same contract, and basically they're basically exchangeable for each other. And I want to sort of give credit first to Oval's community, which kind of did this first. All right. Ovals did this way earlier because they were able to fractionalize basically one oval into 1,000, one oval NFT into 1,000 oval tokens. right? So this is kind of the first example of what this SPL 22 is trying to do with two projects that I'm aware of, which is Vice and Ghost, right? So both of them are pretty much doing the same thing. Both of them are kind of in the meme coin category. Oval's not so much the meme coin category, like it's more of a legitimate NFT project, and I don't think they classify themselves as a meme coin. So anyway, so I picked up some Ghost. Again, just full disclosure. And I have a very little exposure to Vice also. But I just want to let you all know that, these are two sort of trades and positions that I am currently hanging on to. I'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm not fully sort of, bought into it, the whole SPL 22 standard, because I don't see any large difference between that and ovals, but we'll see where it goes, right? And then whales already talked about. I think I gave you guys whales when it was like close to like $1, right? And now it's 3. So it's already up, 3x. So again, when these assets are up a lot like this, I like to wait for like cool off periods where I can, potentially buy back lower. And that's kind of what I'm doing on whales. My average entry was maybe like 120, 125, sold out close to about $3, collected almost that, 2 or 3x. And now I'm just chilling and just waiting, right? But again, if you want to just hang on to this for, the future, the foreseeable future, then, this could be a pretty undervalued project for 6 months or 1 year. Again, not investment advice, but just my thoughts. So, again, caution, in my opinion, is warranted, given that the markets are a little bit extended, given that sentiment is a little bit hot, given that you had all this airdrop free money come into the market. But if the market keeps going up, not much we can say. But it never, in my opinion, hurts to start taking a little bit of profit, being a little bit more careful in a structure where markets have been pushing higher and higher. Sentiment is really high, and everybody is just bullish and long and up only, right? It never hurts to kind of reduce your risk, take profits, or wait a little bit. All right. So again, not investment advice, just sort of my thoughts on the market. Now, other than that, there's obviously a lot happening. We had the DYM airdrop. Here's sort of this margin fi roadmap. And then you have, things with the different Bitcoin ETFs that are still, pouring in a lot of money. So there's a lot of positive catalyst events that are still going on, and very hard to sort of discount that. Um, but I'm going to just be more careful in the market over the next few days. And for now, I just want to see if the SPL 22 Ghost token, the Ghost coin, as well as the Ghost coin is right here. By the way, you could grab the contract address here. And I think you got to buy through Fluxbeam because I think it's not really tradable on Jupiter just yet. Or, same thing with Vice. Okay. So yeah, um, just wanted to let you all know. Anyway, good luck. Take care, everybody, and we'll chat soon. Cheers.